There are some men who are destined to become kings, while there are also others who are destined to just become the regular average guys. Now, these are the four things that will separate those who are destined to be kings from those who are destined to just be average men. The very first one is those who are destined to become kings. They are obsessed with discipline. Average men follow every urge. Every day you see them on social media arguing about Regina Daniels, arguing about VDM, arguing about this and that. They are not focused on using their time to build themselves. Instead, they are using their time for useless things. Instead of you seeing them being obsessed with self-improvement, they are simply out here chasing everything on skates, chasing the thrills of the weekend, drinking, smoking. That is basically what they use their time for. A man who is destined to become a king or who wants to be a king is obsessed with discipline. He goes to the gym, he eats well, he reads book, he does the work no matter how difficult it is. He's always grounded. For those who are destined to become normal people, you will always see them flying from one urge to another, flying from one fun to another, flying from one quick pleasure to another. And it's sad. It's sad. The next thing that will separate kings or that separates kings from average men is long-term vision. Anybody who is bound to become successful, if you observe them closely, they don't just think about the present or the weekend or tomorrow. They think in decades. They think in form of legacy. Where do I want to be in the next 1 year? Where do I want to be in the next 10 years? And they are constantly working towards it. Nothing will build you more faster than consistency. And you can only be consistent when you have a long-term vision. That is the only way you can be consistent, when you have a long-term vision. Because you see that, okay, I'm here now, but tomorrow or in the next 1 year or in the next 10 years, I want to be there. Therefore, I have to be consistently hardworking. Therefore, I have to consistently show up every day. Therefore, I have to consistently put in the work to get there by that time. Nobody starts a journey of 1,000 miles by just putting one step out there. No, they know that they have to work and keep working till they get to their destination. So that is what will make you consistent when you have a long-term vision. But those who always end up average, if you check it out, they don't think beyond their current situation. They are comfortable with where they are. There's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, there is something wrong with being average. The next thing is ruthless focus. Men who are destined for greatness, men who are bound for excellence, are always ruthlessly focused. While the regular men get distracted by drama, by unnecessary attention, a man who is on the path of greatness invests his time, his energy in building himself mentally, physically, financially. There is no way you tell me that you want to become something useful in life and you are always using your time for unnecessary social media drama. Every day, in fact, personally, I always see people who come on social media to comment, to argue with others, as people who don't even have anything reasonable going on for themselves. Because why would you have the luxury of time to be coming on social media and arguing with people, commenting? It makes no sense. That means you don't have anything reasonable going on in your life. Because personally, I can't imagine myself going on social media, engaging people in comment section, insulting them, fighting with them. It makes no sense. I have more reasonable things to do with my time. Where will I see the time to go and start doing such rubbish? But every day you see millions of people doing that. And tomorrow, you will wonder why they are still where they are. The next thing that separates kings from average guys is mastery. A man who is destined to become a king is not defined by what he has, but he is defined by how well he has mastered himself. Because you can only achieve greatness when you know who you are, when you know your own strengths, when you know your own weaknesses, when you know your own emotions, and when you've been able to Master yourself to the point of building habits. It takes a lot to build habits, and you cannot build habits if you've not mastered yourself, conquered the bad side of you that prevents you from building those habits. Because every single one of us is a natural procrastinator. But there is an extent you get in terms of self mastery, and you will tell yourself, see, I cannot get to where I want to be if I am still procrastinating or if I'm still lazy. Therefore, I have to do away with all these bad habits and embrace these good habits. That is self mastery, when you've mastered yourself and when you can tell yourself what to do and you will do it, no matter how you are feeling. That is self mastery. And there's no way you can be successful. There is no way you can be a king if you've not mastered yourself. It's not possible. You must master yourself. So these are the 4 things that will separate kings from average men. It's that simple.